Welcome to episode 12 of BR SizeUp, Firefighter Work Comp. So when we discuss workers' compensation insurance, we got to start with the basics. So today we're just going to talk about assigned risk, how the premium is calculated, the coverage, and what do you need to know? Assigned risks. What we're referring to are entities who have a hard time getting workers' comp insurance. And the reason for that is that insurance companies can't make money on an entity who has a high risk environment where people are likely to get hurt on a regular basis. Firefighting is one of those entities. So fire departments, generally speaking, are assigned risks. In 46 of the 50 states, Indiana is one of those, they have assigned risk programs similar to this. And in Indiana, we have what we call the pool. That's our slang term for it. All the companies must participate who want to sell any kind of workers' comp insurance in the state of Indiana. So they have to accept a certain number of assigned risks. So in other words, each company who has a workers' comp program in Indiana has to take so many fire departments. Some fire departments have a high enough premium rate that they can go out and shop their business to a multitude of insurance companies. But most of us are in the pool and we have been assigned to our workers' comp company. We're stuck with them for life. The only way this will change is if the company decides to not provide workers' comp insurance in the state of Indiana. The other way is that the fire department would not exist anymore. And the third way, which can happen, is the fire department grows big enough that their premium is high enough that they can go out and shop on the regular market. So when we calculate your premium, or what you pay for workers' comp insurance, it boils down to three things. The rate, or the job classification, which is regulated by the state. The payroll, how much payroll do you have? And your experience modification. And what the experience modification is, that's your safety record, essentially. How often have you had a payable claim? If you've had a lot of payable claims, then your experience modification may be above point or above 1.0. If you've been very safe and had very few claims that have paid out, your experience modification for your department will be less than 1. So when the state is figuring how the rate is determined, they're looking at it as a mutual. And what that means is all the fire departments in the state of Indiana affect the rate. So when they're calculating your premium, the rate matters a lot. So in the state of Indiana, so as an example, in the state of Indiana, if last year we had very few claims all over the state, then generally speaking, the rate would decrease. Thereby, your premium would decrease. If we had a lot of injured firefighters last year, it is possible that the state would increase the rate. Therefore, your premium would go up. The other thing I want to discuss about workers' comp is to understand that there is an audit. Every year you're going to have an audit because that payroll could change. So your rate, so we're in 2020, and the rate you're going to pay for workers' comp insurance for the next year is based on your current payroll as it is now. A year from now, at renewal time, that payroll may have changed. So that's why they do an audit. If your payroll has went up by the audit, then you may have to pay a little extra for the past year's coverage. When we talk about workers' comp coverage, we're talking about the benefits, and the benefits are limited, especially for volunteers with no wages. And what I mean by that is some of the benefits are based on the wage. So as a career firefighter, as an example, say you were to get hurt, you're going to be off work for a while. There is coverage. There's a little bit of coverage for those lost wages. But if you're a volunteer, there's no coverage for that. So you need to make sure that you have a accident and health or accident and sickness policy. This will take care of that. So career and combination departments can vary significantly on what coverages they have. If they're out on the open market buying workers' comp coverage, they may have the basic limited benefits, or they may have very good benefits with their workers' comp coverage. It just depends on the situation. So what do you need to do? Well, you need to communicate. Your leadership needs to communicate with your town or township or board or whatever you have in your organization and find out what it is they provide for workers' comp coverage. Do they require the basics? Have they filled the gaps in that coverage? If you're an independent organization, such as ours, we're a nonprofit organization that contracts with our township, you need to meet with your agent, and you need to have an agent that understands this. This is a very specific, unique situation in the insurance business, so they need to understand it, or there can be gaps in your coverage. You can refer to your declaration pages for the numbers. Part-time and volunteers must have an accident and health policy or an accident and sickness policy. And what that means is it is required by law for part-time and or volunteers to have this coverage to supplement the workers' compensation coverage. Determine what coverage you need for your people. We spend way too much time worrying about fire trucks. So at the end of the day, if you need help, feel free to call me. You don't have to be a customer. I don't have to sell you anything. I'd be glad to help you, so just give me a call. Again, I can't stress this enough. We will spend hours and hours and hours talking about fire trucks and our buildings and how we insure them. And we spend very little time talking about people. So in most cases, we need to spend more time, effort, and money on insurance on our people. If you'd like to contact me for more information, feel free to call me, text me, you can email me, you can find me on social media, and thanks for watching.